Right, how to work out your foundation levels. A couple of people have asked me again, so I'll show you basically the basic stuff you need to know so you can work out your dig levels, your top of concrete levels, and your masonry levels, okay? So you're going to come across drawings that look something like this. You're going to get your foundation plan drawing. You're going to have like little sections at the bottom that look like this. I'll just zoom in a bit more. And then you might also get foundation schedules which look like this. Now once you're more advanced and comfortable with it, you'll do everything off of here, but it's not super important just to understand that straight away, because you look at that and it's a bit intimidating. So these are the things you really need to know. I've just done a little drawing again just to make it as simple as possible. So you need to either know the level of the BOF level, which is bottom of foundation level, the top of concrete level, which is TOC level on this drawing. If you're given those levels and you know the level of a nearby datum point, like the plot next to it, like I've just done one up there. So for example, the finished floor level of the plot next to the one we're trying to work out is 11.000. All you do is you set your laser up on that, and then you would minus 8.500 from 11, which would be a difference of 2.5 meters. And that tells you that the bottom of the foundation you're working on is 2.5 meters lower than the finished floor level of that plot. So if you're given the levels like that, that's the easiest way to do it. If you're not given the levels, then there's two things that you need to know. You 100% need to know the level of a nearby building or a datum point. So that's always where you're going to start your levels from. You're going to need to know the finished floor level of the current plot you're trying to work out, the current plot you want to dig or set the concrete levels up. You're going to need to know what the thickness of concrete is that you're putting in. Usually is a minimum thickness for most sites at certain depths below the ground. So in this example, I've gone 600. And you're also going to need to know how much block work or how much masonry is going in the foundation. So in this example here, and you can work this out as well, we've got a finished floor level of 10. So I've just done it nice and simple. Now you can look at the drawing. I'll go back to the other drawing. A drawing like this is what you're actually going to see on site. And you can just count the bricks or the blocks, and that will tell you how much brickwork is within that foundation, how much block work or brickwork's in that foundation. So going back to this, because it's a bit easier just to see. So you can see this has got 4 blocks or 3 blocks, 3 bricks, which is a 900 build. So if you wanted to work out your top of concrete level, all you would do is your finished floor level, which is 10.00, minus 900, which would be 0.9 if you do it on a calculator. And that would give you your top of concrete level of 9.100. And then if you wanted to work out your bottom of foundation level, all you would do is deduct another 600 of concrete for that. I'm assuming for this example it's 600 of concrete. And that would give you your BOF level, your bottom of foundation level of 8.500. And that is it. That is literally it. So I've done like a few little equations. So you can say top of concrete level is your finished floor level, minus your masonry is your top of concrete level, and your bottom of foundation level is finished floor level, and then minus the masonry and the concrete together. So from there to there, that difference is what gives you your bottom of foundation level. Now, this is just the basics of how to do it. There is some examples where you've got to be careful, and like I say, you'll go to a foundation schedule where when you start digging, you're not deep enough into the ground, sometimes they'll make you put more concrete in. So they're things that you will need a foundation schedule for. So for example, let's say on here, it's a bit, let me just move this over. Let's say the finished ground level is sort of here, yeah? But let's say the site's already been stripped and they've took out a load of soil. It might mean by the time, let's say you've worked out your dig level, it might be by the time you start digging and you get to this level, you're only a metre in the ground. And there might be something in the schedule that says, or in the drawings that say, if your if you're less than a metre in the ground, then you've got to have 900 of concrete instead of 600, for example. So they're little things to watch out for. But this was just a video just to show you the basics of just working out the levels. So screenshot that. Hopefully it helps.